the soul of Adam, which the angels were taking to heaven. Arrived there, they burnt incense until the clouds of smoke enveloped the heavens. Then they prayed to God to have mercy upon his image and the work of his holy hands. In her awe and fright, Eve summoned Seth, and bade him look upon the vision and explain the celestial sights beyond her understanding. She asked, "Who may the two Ethiopians be who are adding their prayers to thy father's?" Seth told her they were the sun and moon, turned black because they could not shine in the face of the Father of light. Scarcely had he spoken when an angel blew a trumpet, and all the angels cried with awful voices, "Blessed be the glory of the Lord by his creatures, for he has shown mercy unto Adam, the work of his hands." A seraph then seized Adam, and carried him off to the river Acheron, washed him 3 times, and brought him before the presence of God, who sat upon his throne, and stretching out his hand, lifted Adam up, and gave him over to the archangel Michael, with the words, "Raise him to the paradise of the 3rd heaven, and there shalt thou leave him until the great and fearful day ordained by me." Michael executed the divine behest, and all the angels sang a song of praise, extolling God for the pardon he had accorded Adam. Michael now entreated God to let him attend to the preparation of Adam's body for the grave. Permission being given, Michael repaired to earth, accompanied by all the angels. When they entered the terrestrial paradise, all the trees blossomed forth, and the perfume wafted thence lulled all men into slumber except Seth alone. Then God said to Adam, as his body lay on the ground, "If thou hadst kept my commandment, they would not rejoice who brought thee hither. But I tell thee, I will turn the joy of Satan and his consorts into sorrow, and thy sorrow shall be turned into joy. I will restore thee to thy dominion, and thou shalt sit upon the throne of thy seducer, while he shall be damned with those who hearken unto him." Thereupon, at the bidding of God, the 3 great archangels covered the body of Adam with linen, and poured sweet-smelling oil upon it. With it they interred also the body of Abel, who had lain unburied since Cain had slain him, for all the murderer's efforts to hide it had been in vain. The corpse again and again sprang forth from the earth, and a voice issued thence, proclaiming, "No creature shall rest in the earth until the first one of all has returned the dust to me of which it was formed." The angels carried the 2 bodies to paradise, Adam's and Abel's. The latter in all this time had been lying on a stone on which angels had placed it, and there they buried them both on the spot whence God had taken the dust wherewith to make Adam. God called unto the body of Adam, "Adam, Adam," and it answered, "Lord, here am I." Then God said, "I told thee once, dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Now I promise thee resurrection. I will awaken thee on the day of judgment, when all the generations of men that spring from thy loins shall arise from the grave." God then sealed up the grave, that none might do him harm during the 6 days to elapse, until his rib should be restored to him, through the death of Eve. The Legends of the Jews by Rabbi Louis Ginzberg. The Death of Eve. The interval between Adam's death and her own, Eve spent in weeping. She was distressed in particular that she knew not what had become of Adam's body, for none except Seth had been awake while the angels interred it. When the hour of her death drew nigh, Eve supplicated to be buried in the selfsame spot in which the remains of her husband rested. She prayed to God, "Lord of all power, remove not thy maidservant from the body of Adam, from which thou didst take me, from whose limbs thou didst form me. Permit me, who am an unworthy and sinning woman, to enter into his habitation. As we were together in paradise, neither separated from the other, as together we were tempted to transgress thy law, neither separated from the other, so, O Lord, separate not us now." To the end of her prayer she added the petition, raising her eyes heavenward, "Lord of the world, receive my spirit." And she gave up her soul to God. The archangel Michael came and taught Seth how to prepare Eve for burial, and 3 angels descended and interred her body in the grave with Adam and Abel. Then Michael spoke to Seth, "Thus shalt thou bury all men that die until the resurrection day." And again, having given him this command, he spoke, "Longer than 6 days ye shall not mourn. The repose of the 7th day is the token of resurrection in the latter day, for on the 7th day the Lord rested from all the work which he had created and made." Though death was brought into the world through Adam, yet he cannot be held responsible for the death of men. Once on a time he said to God, "I am not concerned about the death of the wicked, but I should not like the pious to reproach me and lay the blame for their death upon me. I pray thee, make no mention of my guilt." And as God promised to fulfill his wish, therefore, when a man is about to die, God appears to him, and bids him set down in writing all he has done during his life, for he tells him, Thou art dying by reason of thy evil deeds." The record finished, God orders him to seal it with his seal. This is the writing God will bring out on the judgment day, and to each will be made known his deeds. As soon as life is extinct in a man, he is presented to Adam, whom he accuses of having caused his death. But Adam repudiates the charge. "I committed but one trespass. Is there any among you, and be he the most pious, who has not been guilty of more than one?" End of chapter 2, part 6.